I'll never forget seeing Iron Man in theaters for the first time as a kid. That's not me, by the way. But it could have been. It had the action, the humor.
We've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous, I don't paint.
And of course, the man himself. Arrogant, brilliant, a complete mess. But one thing's for sure. This movie kickstarted the MCU and one of the greatest character arcs in cinema history. Watching Tony Stark's transformation from selfish playboy to selfless hero has always stuck with me. It's made me reflect on my own growth, my own self-discovery. And no symbol represents that change better than the Arc Reactor in his chest. The Arc Reactor is more than just a piece of tech. It's a metaphor, a visual evolution of Tony Stark's entire journey. And in the next few videos, I'm going to break down exactly how Marvel turned this small, glowing device into one of the most powerful character symbols in cinema. Tony Stark wakes up to the reality of his own destruction. Hooked up to a car battery and an electromagnet in his chest, the scene plays out like something from a horror movie. With the eerie music and Tony's facial expressions, Tony was almost killed by his own missile. And now, he carries a constant reminder of it, wired into his chest, keeping him alive.
And it's keeping the shrapnel from entering your heart.
This is Tony at his lowest and most vulnerable. And the only reason he's alive? He was saved by the MCU's very first hero, Yinsen. A man with no suit, no fame, just a heart strong enough to save the man who made weapons of war. And for the first time, Tony sees what those weapons are doing. But that didn't come out of nowhere. The car battery strapped to his chest, that crude electromagnet, it's not much, but it's keeping him alive. And it is also the spark, the moment where survival becomes invention. This is the beginning of the Arc Reactor. Using the 10-ring spare parts and old Stark Tech missiles, Tony creates a miniaturized palladium-cored Arc Reactor to power his electromagnet. Capable of generating 3 gigajoules per second, it can keep Tony's heart running
50 lifetimes.
Or something big for 15 minutes.
The Arc Reactor started as a lifeline, built out of survival, just a way to keep his heart beating. But here, it becomes something else. Notice how the camera keeps framing the Arc Reactor at the center of every shot? This isn't an accident. The filmmakers are telling us this is the heart of Tony's transformation. And in a way, it's also his first real invention. Before this, Tony's entire career was about selling weapons. But now, in the worst possible situation, what does he do? He creates for good instead of selling weapons for evil. This is a massive shift. And here it is, the payoff. The Arc Reactor, once just a desperate attempt at survival, now turns Tony into a walking tank. And here's the beautiful irony. Tony built weapons his entire life, but the most powerful thing he ever created? It wasn't a missile or a drone. It was a reactor, no bigger than a hockey puck. This moment is cinematic poetry. The Arc Reactor, meant to be a temporary lifeline, now becomes his way out. And then everything breaks. The suit is gone, the weapons are gone. Tony is back to nothing. Nothing except the Arc Reactor. It's still intact, it's still glowing, because the truth is, the suit was never the real power. The Arc Reactor is. And more importantly, what Tony chooses to do with it next. When Tony returns home, something is off. He's alive, but he isn't the man who left. The Arc Reactor in his chest isn't just keeping him alive. It's a constant reminder of what almost killed him, chaining him to his past. And how does he handle this existential crisis? With a cheeseburger. Honestly, relatable. But then, Tony does something that shocks everyone. He announces that Stark Industries is done making weapons. And his business partner and so-called friend, Obadiah Stane, is not happy. This isn't just a PR nightmare. It's the first time Tony has ever gone against the empire he built. The Arc Reactor didn't just save his life. It redefined what that life meant. The Arc Reactor began as a necessity, something built out of survival. But for Tony Stark, good enough? is never enough. He refines it, makes it better, and in doing so, he's refining himself. Tony puts his trust and his heart literally in Pepper's hands, and with her help, he replaces his old Arc Reactor, the one that represents his past, built from
bunch of scraps!
Out of fear and survival, with a cleaner, stronger version that represents his future. Someone trying to change, trying to survive beyond himself. This isn't just a repair, it's a choice. And the fact that Pepper is the one doing it, that's not just practical. It foreshadows something big, that Tony can't do this alone. His survival, his growth, will depend on the people who truly care about him. And then, she gives him the gift, the proof. This is the first real step towards becoming Iron Man.
Just our teeth.
Tony's first suit, the Mark I, was a prison break, forged in fear, built for escape. But the Mark II, that's forged in choice. It's not just armor and a way out anymore, it's an identity. But real freedom, it isn't given. It's earned. Through risk, through failure,
What?
and through flight.
Yeah, I can fly.
And sometimes, through totaling your own car. This is it, the moment he lets go of the old Tony Stark. No boardrooms, no weapon deals, no limits. Just Tony, the reactor, and the open sky. He's finally free. But freedom isn't without its challenges. And just when Tony thinks he's in control, reality steps in to show him that his journey is far from over. Stain steals a new Arc Reactor from Tony, and it's a brutal moment. It's not just an attack on Tony, it's an attempt to rip away the very thing that saved and transformed him. This moment is symbolic. Stain is trying to take away Tony's progress, his second chance, his heart. Without the Arc Reactor, Tony is left weakened, barely able to stand. He drags himself to his old Arc Reactor, the one Pepper believed was worth keeping. Only now, it's not just a power source. It's a reminder of how far he's come, of who he's fighting for,
Don't waste your life.
of why he can't stop now. This isn't about survival. It's about legacy, redemption, and love. And now, he's ready to end this. In their final showdown, Tony is physically outmatched. The Ironmonger suit is bigger, stronger, and powered by the very technology Tony created. This isn't just a fight to stop Stain. This is Tony facing the consequences of his past, proving that he's no longer the man who profits from destruction. The key moment comes when Tony, severely weakened, instructs Pepper to overload the massive Arc Reactor in Stark Industries. This is where the symbolism comes full circle. The original Arc Reactor, which represented his past life as a weapons manufacturer, is what ultimately destroys Stain. In contrast, Tony survives by relying on his miniature Arc Reactor, the one built from a place of desperation and survival in the cave. This moment closes the loop on Tony's first major arc. The Arc Reactor, once a shackle to his past, has become the very thing that defeats it. By destroying Stain with the technology he once misused, Tony fully embraces his identity as Iron Man. With Stain defeated, Tony is given the perfect opportunity to maintain his double life, keeping his superhero identity separate from his public one. But in classic Tony Stark fashion, he rejects secrecy and proudly declares,
I am Iron Man.
this line isn't just for show, it's the culmination of everything Tony's learned throughout the film. He's no longer just a billionaire playboy, and he's more than a survivor. The story wasn't just about building a suit, it's about choosing the kind of man he wants to be. From the start, Tony's hidden behind a persona, whether it was the charismatic genius or the inventor pretending he wasn't responsible for the damage his weapons caused. But now, he's done hiding. He accepts his past, he embraces his transformation, and most importantly, he steps into his purpose. He's not just wearing the Iron Man suit, he is Iron Man. This choice sets up everything that follows in the MCU. Unlike heroes who guard their secret identities, Tony's decision to be open about being Iron Man makes him a global figure, bringing him into conflict with governments, enemies, and even allies. More importantly, it sets the foundation for his ongoing internal struggle. What does it truly mean to be Iron Man? Can he ever separate the man from the machine? And is the Arc Reactor a symbol of his strength? Or is it a burden that will follow him for the rest of his life? These questions lead directly into Iron Man 2, where we see Tony grappling with the cost of being Iron Man, both physically and emotionally. But for now, in the final moments of Iron Man, we see a man who has taken control of his story for the first time. The Arc Reactor may have started as a life-saving device, but by the end, it's become something more, a symbol of his growth, of the man he's trying to become. And it's his willingness to change that truly defines his new path. And with that, Tony Stark's first great transformation is complete. And that wraps up our deep dive into Tony Stark's Arc Reactor in Iron Man 1. But this is just the beginning. In the next video, we'll explore how the Arc Reactor starts to threaten Tony's life in Iron Man 2, and how that moment shapes his future. If you enjoyed this analysis, comment below. What's your favorite Arc Reactor moment in Iron Man 1? Or is there something you'd like to see me cover in future videos? I want to hear from you. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss out on future breakdowns, rankings, and all things nerdy here on Screen Nerd Chronicles. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, where we dive even deeper into the heart of Tony Stark's journey.